Hello fabulous DIYers, it's Deanna Tobe-Coburn here, and in this video we are going to celebrate 100K subscribers. If you guys was wondering how that sounds, at least you know what it sounds like now in the flesh live. I'm so excited. Like, this is like, oh my goodness, I love to have fun. First of all, okay, in my work I like to work. Okay, when it's time for me to get down to work, I work, but when it's time to play hard, I play hard. This is a celebration and I want you guys to join. I'm gonna be sharing some story time, a little story time, and also we're gonna have a Q&A later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. So let's get the party started. I do have a bit of sparkling apple cider, of course, because we're gonna keep it here PG-13. And let me get my champagne glass. You know, I want to unwind, have a good time. So let me try to get this open. Ooh, let me get this down. Let me put this down here and playing myself. Oh. 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 Got it. We pour right now. Let me do what Nico told me to do, is pour this. Oh, let me tilt the glass. And then I twist to stop. There goes my drink. Oh, cheers to 100K. Apple grape, very cute. I like the taste. So what I wanted to do in this video was basically talk to you guys of why I started YouTube. I have mentioned, you know, a couple of my history, my career history, and, you know, little details here about my education and so on and so forth, but you really don't know exactly what caused me to start a YouTube channel. So before I started YouTube, I had a full-time job in the industry. I was working in a company for 4.5 years, and the reason why I left the company was an situation that I did not agree with. So my boss at that time gave me an account to work with. Now, she also told me that since I'm getting this account, I'm gonna also be a liaison for her department. Whenever her department is getting busy, I will basically go back and forth. They'll pull me off that account just to assist them whenever they're like busy with a lot of work. So I'm fine with that. So I had a project that I was working on, and sure enough, her department got very busy and they needed extra help. So she gave me a project to work on, and the account that I was working on was paused, but I was still receiving emails. So I finished the project and I was waiting for her to come to approve it, basically. So she had stepped away from her office for like 2 hours. It was a very long time. So while at that time when I finished the project, I was basically like had nothing else to do. Now in the fashion industry, if you are sitting around with nothing to do, you gotta find something to do. Nobody's sitting here allowing anyone, even an intern, to sit around and be like, oh, I don't got nothing to do, so I was just hanging out. No, you need to find something to do. Somebody's gonna give you something to do or whatever. So since I had the project done and completed and was waiting for her approval, I said, you know what, let me go ask everybody else in the area to make sure that they didn't have anything. So they told me, no, they don't have anything, don't worry about it, we're good, we're fine, and whatever. So I was like, okay, well, since I'm waiting here, let me jump on those emails that I was receiving from my account that I was put on the back burner. So I'll just get everything set up, and then when it's time for me to ease on back in there, it's gonna be easy breezy. While I was doing that, my cubicle or my desk area was faced towards the hallway or the aisle area. So when she comes in, I don't see when she comes in, but she can see everything in my area, which I don't mind that because I don't have nothing to hide. So she comes in and sneaks behind me, and she goes, what are you doing? So I turned around and I was like, oh, hey. I was waiting for the youth to come back so I can show you the project. She was like, what are you doing? And I was just like, what? Who told you to do that? And I was like, oh, well, I was waiting for you, so I figured I was just gonna do the email. No one told you to do that. She just went off. And I mean completely disrespectfully off in front of everybody. Very kind of degrading, very like, I'm the boss here, you need to, who told you to do that? If I didn't tell you to do that, you shouldn't be doing that. And that was my breaking point. I was with the company for about 4.5 years, and I went through about 7 bosses slash supervisors. So you can imagine within 4 years the type of ways of other people, how they work, that you have to adjust to. And I felt like I wasn't growing there anymore. And then since she pulled that stunt, I was like completely like in the twilight zone. I'm sat there and I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, I'm basically like doing 2 jobs for one, and you coming over here and just insulting me and being very disrespectful. Like, as a professional, you would basically go and say, okay, if you didn't like something that happened, well, I didn't tell you to do that, come into my office and we have a further discussion. Close the door and have the discussion. But for you to go ahead and show off and show out in front of everybody just to showcase that you're the boss, I found that very unprofessional. And then, long story short, the next day I went and gave in my resignation. She had HR call me into their office, and then they told me that she said that she appreciates my resignation letter, but she does not accept, and she wants me to leave right now. Mind you, I had like 2 weeks. I put in my proper 2 weeks and everything else, and she wanted me to be out of the office. And I said, oh, so I told HR, I was like, oh, so she's trying to fire me. She was like, no, but since she felt like I checked out, she wanted me to leave the office right now. So what happened after that was HR escorts me back to my desk and watched me pick up my things. I had like 3 items in the desk actually, and escorts me off the premises. So I was like, you know what, this is not for me. I don't know if I want to go and look for another job in the industry. I've been to 3 to 4 places already, and every single place I was very disappointed about how everything happened. So while I was working on my line for part-time, and I've never gave it a full chance. So after that point, I was like, you know what, maybe I should take a chance on myself. And I was reaching out to people, and people wasn't feeling me or anything like that. So I was like, you know what, since everybody's saying no, let me just create my own platform and showcase my work. So I started a blog, and I was blogging every piece that I made and talk about it, and you know, tell them about my line and stuff like that. And then I said, all right, well, I had an Etsy shop, and I was like, let me go on Etsy and, you know, start posting my pieces on there too, so also I can get some traction on my pieces and whatever. And then I said, let me update my website on top of that to really, you know, get myself into the flow of things and really start taking my brand, my line serious. And then I was like, you know what, I need more eyeballs on my stuff. And then that's when I decided to do YouTube. Yes, that's when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and start a YouTube channel. Now, the YouTube channel, hold on, let me get a drink. The YouTube channel was basically for my line, period. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to showcase the pieces in action. You know, we're gonna do videos here and there. And at that time, I was kind of like iffy with YouTube, because I was like, how can people take me serious with YouTube? Like, the industry is so like conservative on how to be successful that they only see it one way. And I was so skeptical to come on YouTube. I was kind of nervous to even open up and share my story of, you know, how I do things, and you know, because I didn't want people to look at it as, ooh, look at that, like, you're not even professional, like, you don't got the good stuff, so why should we even take this serious? You know, they even didn't take Project Runway serious. So now I'm gonna be a YouTuber, and I didn't even want that title, YouTuber. Like, that's, to me, just, no, call me designer and that's it. I'm a fashion designer and that's it. I just post videos on YouTube, but I'm not a YouTuber. As I started the channel, I basically was posting my pieces, and then I didn't see any traction on YouTube. And then YouTube at that time of 2011, it was like a DIY platform, you know, very big on games and makeup and etc, etc. And I was like, all right, well, since I have a little bit of downtime while I'm working on my collections or my pieces, let me share some ideas that I have that I would like to create. And I uploaded my first DIY. It was a handmade clutch. And it got really good traction and I was getting subscribers. So I was like, oh, okay, well, YouTube likes, you know, DIYs. I'm cool with DIYs, you know, I'm creating it. I had to go with the trend of YouTube, and at that time there was a lot of gluing stuff, and I'm not into gluing, so that was a negative for me. And there was a lot of refashion, and I said, all right, well, I'm kind of cool with the refashion stuff, because if I was teaching what I teach now back then in 2011, I don't think they would be ready, people would be ready for it, because, you know, a lot of people who come in the comments say they don't have a dress form, or this is a bit advanced for me, I'm still a beginner. And it's like, I'm way ahead, and you are kind of slowing me down with this beginner stuff. Like, I'm not beginner's level. So there's a whole lot of information, and there wasn't a whole lot of information for like really good craftsmanship back then. There was people who were sewing and sharing their, you know, tips in sewing, and they needed to be there so that way they can, you know, help others who don't know how to sew at all. But to me, like high level work, I didn't see that then, and the people who were sharing it didn't share it often. So it was like, this is what I meant about YouTube and the fashion. They're not taking it serious, so I didn't want to go full throttle into all of that. That is my story, and I cannot believe I'm here now, because I think it took me a very long time to get to 100K on some original stuff. Like, being original takes time. Like, if you're not doing, you know, what's trendy or who's wearing what, your channel doesn't grow quickly. I'm very proud of myself that I kept my ground of being original and doing original content, because when I look back at my work, I'm like, wow, this is so, like, you went from here to here. So for those people who's on the channel and has watched this channel evolve, I'm like, yo, thank you for your support, because you saw potential in me since like the time you found me. Like, I just saw a comment the other day with someone who said, I was here when you had 11K, and I was just like, yo, you was riding with me. You was riding with me. Let's take a drink. I'm so excited that we are here. I did not want to wait for an award to celebrate. You know, I am, let me tell you, like I said before, I work, but let me tell you, I can host. I'm a good host, okay? And if we have to party, we going party, and I have no problems having fun and celebrating small milestones along the way to the big dream, okay? So we need to do a Q&A. We're gonna do a Q&A segment, and I had asked a lot of you guys on Instagram and my Facebook fan page. So if you haven't followed, please join me on Instagram and Facebook. Okay, so I don't know how to say your name because I'm about to butcher it. So I'm gonna put your name right here on the screen, and I'm gonna answer your question. So your question was, how old were you when you began to design clothes, and what difficulties did you have when you first beginning to design clothes? Okay, I get it. So I wanted to design clothes. Actually, I wanted to design my prom dress, and my prom dress was more of like a princess style, and I've kind of felt very bummed out that I couldn't do it, because it was really nice. I really loved it. I'm probably gonna try to redo it for maybe next year. I'll probably do as a video just to see how it would come out, because I always wanted to look like this for my prom, and I didn't do it. So I'm not gonna share that picture right now. I'm gonna share it later on, or maybe I'll share it on my Instagram if you guys want to see it, so I can reference this back to the video. And I was 18 years old, and I really wanted to create the dress, but I didn't do that, so I had to go out and buy one. So after I graduated high school, I was like, you know, I really want to make real clothes, and there was really no one who could really teach me how to make really fancy clothes, not basic t-shirts. I was like, I tried that in high school. I was experimenting in high school, but I really didn't want that. I wanted like clothes where it was like, your stuff is like, look, really expensive, like you bought that at the store. That's how much of a quality that I was trying to be. I had an internship during my high school, and the woman who I interned for, she was the one that put me on the school that she told me, you know, listen, go to this design school. I know FIT is a bit expensive, but this school is also good because I get interns from there too, and their design students are not bad at all. So they're known within the industry. At the time, it was known for the wood, but over the years they merged with someone else, and the school changed. So what happened is, I went to that school, and then that's when I started learning how to construct garments. So next question. This is from Tila Andrea. How do you find inspiration or come up with ideas of what to make? Okay, so as a designer, I think inspiration comes from anywhere. So if you travel, you probably get scenery, or if it's a party, or if it's someone, or if it's a particular trend at the moment. I also take inspiration from places, people, atmospheres, locations. Those things inspire me as well. I also get inspired by fabrics. Fabrics also gives me the mood, makes me feel a certain way about a typical fabric. So if I see something, I'm like, oh, I already know what I would like to do. Like for instance, the dress that I just did for the YouTube tutorial. It was very like geometric. I kind of reference it as a flapper, but it has like some African references. So I felt like I wanted to look like I wanted to be a mermaid style, but also very flapper-esque. If I was gonna build a whole collection off of that, it would be that geometric style. So I would think about my silhouettes, I would think about my seaming, I would think about the colors and all that etc. stuff because of that one fabric. And this question comes from Facebook, and it's from Natasha. If you don't have classical fashion design training, is it possible to make a living as a fashion designer? Anything is possible. Anything is possible in this world. Now, it depends on which level you want to play on. If you want to be hired by a designer in the industry, like a name or a brand. So if you want to get a job in the industry and work for a brand, basically you would need some type of proof that you are able to perform the job that they're asking for. Now, the entry level, I think now is probably BA. I don't have a BA, I had an AA, and when I started, there's a lot of people who didn't have no degrees whatsoever, but a lot of experience. So it was based off of internships. When people enter, they're gonna find a job. You basically said, all right, since I don't have any experience, I will intern. And while you interning, they will hire you within. And that's how you will build your resume. Now, if you don't have experience, you never interned, this is going to be very hard for you to get a job within the industry because they're going to look for qualifications. And the older people may not be there, or they don't do the same thing they used to do. So the newcomers are considering and wanting BAs. You may get lucky and get hired without a bachelor's or a degree, but I highly doubt it in this day and age. Now, if you're gonna go and start your own business, you can start your own business without any design school or any type of background of degrees or education in fashion. You're gonna have to work hard. You're gonna have to hustle. You're gonna have to learn as you go, and that's a lot of errors and mistakes you're gonna make on your own dollar, where you can do this on someone else's dollar. Now, that's on you. If you feel that's the route for you and you believe 100% on it and you are committed to it, yes, you can succeed if you focus. Now, if you are someone who's going to do design on locally, you don't necessarily need a degree. You can just start on your own and hustle to get business. Do your work and you showcase it so that way you can recruit or have customers find you so they can shop from you. There's different levels to designing. You choose what playing field you want to. Once you decide what level you want to play, you seek information so you can go about handling your business. If you need education, you're going to go and seek education for you to get to the level that you want. If you see that you don't need it, go out on your own and you're going to have to make the arrows on your own dime. Just know that. Now, this question comes from Instagram, and it's from Mogulsum. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. And they wrote, what has been your biggest challenges in fashion designing or even in the industry? There are so many challenges that I think that I would have to do a separate video to talk about the challenges that I receive while working in the industry. I'm gonna name a few, but if you guys are interested in hearing more in detail about what I'm talking about, then let me know down in the comment section if you want me to make a separate video about this. When I was working in the industry, challenges of me being only the black person in the office, they looking at me as if I don't know how to design. They already pigeonhole me as someone who does urban. On my own, tough as a black designer. People not taking my price seriously when it comes to my craft and pieces. They wonder why should they spend that type of money. There's a whole lot of other stuff. You know, I don't want to get too much into political because we'll be in this video will be forever. But there's a lot of challenges that I've seen in the industry that I do not like and I don't agree with. And I think it's shameful, especially the fact that there's lack of black designers. And I'm talking about not indie or independent designers. I'm talking about designers that's in the high level, in the same categories as those top brands, especially in, you know, couture like houses. Is just pure white, and I'm just gonna be honest with and blunt about it. Like, it's pure white. There's hardly any black people, and it's been like this for a very long time. When I first started considering being a fashion designer, I always thought to myself, like, yes, those designers are amazing. They do beautiful garments, and I one day want to do that too. And I want to design beautiful garments as well. And how come there's no black people that represent me as a person so I can be inspired to? It is like I only know one person at the top tier level, and I think that they don't even give her that much credit. But I just feel like there's a lack of black designers, which creates a lack of other things that follow along that is problematic in the fashion industry. That's how I feel, and I don't know if I'm wrong about it. Maybe you can leave a comment down below and tell me how you feel. The next question is from Kirsten. When drafting patterns, what is the best way to add darts? So if you're talking about flat patterns or paper patterns from scratch, I'm not a pattern maker. I can't tell you how to do pattern making because that's not my strong suit. I drape everything and then I do my patterns. So I think you would have to research what is the best way to do darts on paper patterns. But like, if you're gonna drape, the best darts, I guess, would be the bust dart and the princess dart. I mean, I'm a little confused about this question, so if you leave down the comments, maybe I can try to answer them in the comments section. So the next question is by the maximalist, Nico. Okay, so how do you keep motivated? Also, what's some advice you would give for someone starting their own business the real way? So part one, how do you keep motivated? Okay, so motivation. This has been the toughest thing I ever done in my life. When I say that, is because not only do I have to do my business and reach out to people, life happens. Like, you know, health issues, family issues, you know, financial issues, making sure that you have to provide for yourself so you can take care of yourself, and also trying to run a business and have a peace of mind all at the same time and assist everybody while you're going through your own thing. Sometimes I have to shut down, and thank goodness for my close friends and my family, because they motivate me when I don't believe in myself. Sometimes I felt like, you know, giving up and throwing this whole thing away, but my friends and family really motivates me to keep going forward and believing in myself all the time. So that's where I get my bulk of motivation from. As far as starting a business the real way, I mean, the real way would be like you register it and getting you know, your taxes in place and stuff like that. That's a real business. After that is putting in the work, having a mission and speaking to the customer properly, and then you'll look for, as you grow, you'll look for manufacturers to help you get into a store or develop the pieces for you and so on and so forth. I mean, in the beginning you may have to bootstrap and do things on your own, which is normal, but eventually you're gonna have to go and look for the proper people to help you grow your business if you're trying to take it to the next level. So the next question is from Anastasia Berta. Did you went to a fashion school or did you just learn by yourself? I've said this many times before, but I'll say it again. I have an AA in fashion design, and I also am self-taught, because at the end of the day, school does not teach you everything. You have to learn beyond that. And when I got a job, I was able to see certain things that I was not taught in school. And I also picked up tips by looking at books, looking at garments in stores and stuff like that, and wondering why certain things cost what they are if I want to be in that price point. Let me get a drink because my mouth is dry. This question is from Deanna. You have quite a few questions, but I'm going to pull one from the bunch because I can't have this video go too long. Okay, so here's the question. Have you thought about approaching boutique shops with your design so they can sell for you? Okay, so yes, I have reached out to boutiques. I was in a boutique before the market crashed, and ever since then I was reaching out to boutiques, even high-end stores, which I feel like I have no business reaching out to because I don't even have the funding to fund production if they were to select me, but you never know. So if I was selected, maybe something would pop up. I don't know. But I've reached out to a lot of major stores, boutiques, and right now it's a complete no. So that's some of the challenges I've been having. Really wanted to get to at least one store, and I haven't even able to accomplish that, and I feel like I'm very disappointed the fact that this is not happening. And I don't understand what is the problem. I feel like now it's about time for me to remarket my whole thing again and come at it in a different angle. So I'm going into 2018, you know, revamping and doing the whole thing over. So I want this channel to become what I always wanted this channel to become. And since I came here on YouTube, I decided that since people like my DIYs, I wanted to also document my journey as well. And I feel like I took that a back stoop because I didn't know exactly how to position it. So I want to do that again for 2018 because I want people to look at my work as, when I didn't grow up, I didn't have someone to go and look at on TV to say, okay, this is how they was doing it, or look at them at their worst moments, or look at them raw and doing it the best that they can. Everything was like in books, polished, and you only hear about the stories. They probably reenact the stories in videos, but you didn't see the designer in actual real time. So I want my channel to be that. I wanted to inspire someone to see someone like me in them, that look how she did it. She went through YouTube or whatever the case may be, and you saw her doing certain things. So I wanted to bring that to my channel in 2018 and incorporate that with the tutorials as well. So that is it for all the questions. I'm happy that you guys came on board to join me for the fun and party. I mean, I wish you guys was here because basically if we had an interaction, it would be super cute, super fun. But you know, I'm talking to a camera, so I can't get as animated as I want to. So thank you for choosing to subscribe to this channel. I'm very honored, and I hope you look forward to seeing more things to come on this channel.